Hello everyone! Today we're going to be heading into Explorer with the Ultimate 9 Nazgul deck. Now Nazgul is a very fun card. It is a 3-mana 1/2 with Death Touch, and when it enters the battlefield the ring is going to tempt us, and whenever the ring tempts us we are going to put a +1/+1 counter on each Wraith that we control. And we can only have 9 of the Nazgul, but 9 is going to be more than enough to be able to consistently draw it. But what about our other Wraiths? Where else are we going to be getting our value on those +1/+1 counters? Well, Changeling Outcast is an absolutely amazing card. 1 mana, can't be blocked, and notably, as it is a Changeling, it's going to get all of those +1/+1 counters from our Nazgul, which is going to really grow out of control really fast as a must-answer, need to be dealt with threat. Now, we are running 2 Elvish Mystic and 2 Llanowar Elves. Now you might ask, since they're basically the same card, why would I not run 4 of 1? Well, I like splitting those up personally, just in case opponents have ways of dealing with particular named cards, so it's always good to split your Elves and Mystics. Next up, we have Call of the Ring. This is going to give us consistent upkeep triggers for the ring tempting us, and whenever that happens, we're going to be getting those +1/+1 counters and growing all of our creatures. We additionally have Golem, the Patient Plotter. When Golem leaves the battlefield, the ring is going to tempt us, and we can actually create a kind of fun sacrifice loop with 2 Golems to get continual ring tempting us triggers by paying some mana each turn. Next up, we've got Orcish Medicine. Now this can either protect one of our creatures or give lifelink to help us stabilize in the late game. Now, one notable thing here, when it does say amass 1 orcs, that's actually going to put a +1/+1 counter on one of our changelings if we have them on the battlefield. So Changeling Outcast does count as an orc army as well. So we can give it an additional +1/+1 this counter this way and protect it with Indestructible. Now, Masked Vandal is another one of our changelings. Very good to have out on the battlefield, and we can use it to exile an artifact or enchantment our opponent controls if we exile a creature from our graveyard, which is really good. There are some powerful artifacts, things like the One Ring, that we will have to answer, and Masked Vandal is the best way to do that. Now, up at our 3 mana slot, we do also have 2 copies of Smeagol, the Helpful Guide. This is just to give us some more value out of the ring tempting us, get some more lands, do some ramping, and try and get ahead of our opponent that way. Last big thing in our deck is Collected Company. Collected Company can hit any of the creatures that we have, and getting 2 Nazgul onto the battlefield with Collected Company is going to be insane value. Getting an Outcast and a Nazgul also helps. We can even pull Smeagol in with Collected Company, so we've got a lot of different options for things to do in the mana base. We've got Boseiju and Takenuma because we're running a green and black deck, and an assortment of other lands that are going to enable us to have our colors better. Now, if you guys have been enjoying my video so far, make sure you subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on my latest content. And if you do enjoy this video, make sure you give it a like. Let's go ahead and see how this deck does. Alright, here we are on the play. This looks good. We'll go ahead and keep early Outcast. We'll be able to start pumping it with the Nazgul. All's well. We'll also have Orcish Medicine to protect it on turn 2. Opponent's thinking about their starting hand. Alright, looks like we're all set. Start with the Changeling Outcast. Let's see. Opponent plays a tap land. Let's go ahead and play out the Llanowar Wastes. Swing in for 1, pass the turn. We've got Orcish Medicine, if we want to protect Changeling Outcast. Alright. Opponent's venturing into the dungeon. That's pretty fun. And they're going to go ahead and scry with the Lost Mine of Phandelver. Alright, we're getting close to Collected Company. Let's play out our Nazgul. Ringbearer is going to be our Outcast, since we can guarantee that damage. Okay, Brutal Cathar, that's going to hit the Changeling Outcast. No, it's not. It's gonna go ahead and hit our Nazgul. Alright, well, that's pretty good. We're gonna cast Collected Company right here. And let's see what we get. Nazgul and another Changeling Outcast. We'll get to draw and discard here. We're gonna get rid of Smeagol. We're gonna focus on applying a lot of pressure with these outcasts that can't be blocked. Next turn, we can play out Call of the Ring, hold up the medicine. I think that would be pretty good for us. Another Brittle Cathar. Maybe he'll take the Nazgul again. Sure. Keep us with our Changeling Outcasts. Eventually, I think our opponent is going to realize that he can't block the Changeling Outcasts. Let's go Call of the Ring here. Play out another Outcast. Move to combat, draw and discard. We'll discard the land. Keep our medicine up. And there we go. Now, odds are our opponent's not going to have a third Brutal Cathar. And we're getting very close to being able to deal lethal damage. Okay. The Cathars flip. We'll keep that as our Ring Bearer. I'm actually going to pay the life for the extra card. Oh, look at that. Changeling Outcasts 4 days. We'll play out another one. All 4 on the board. Let's go ahead and swing out, draw, and discard. Okay, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's not going to be enough, but let's go ahead and use an Orcish Medicine here. We're going to go with Lifelink, and we're going to grow that Changeling. Hold up Orcish Medicine as well. Gonna end the turn here. We don't want to let their Cathars flip. Yep. Gonna get rid of that. Gonna get rid of that. Alright. So our opponent does have this turn to remove both of our Changeling Outcasts, or else we are going to have lethal next turn. Well, what better time than now? Let's go Indestructible, and we're going to put a +1/+1 counter on the other one. Looking good. Now, no matter what, when the ring tempts us, we're going to have that 4th ability for 3 extra damage. Yeah. And we've got it. Alright, here we are on the play, and this looks pretty good to me. We'll go ahead and keep. Gonna start with the pathway for the Outcast. Play the pathway on black, and here is our first Changeling Outcast. Next turn, we've got Call of the Ring, which I like. We can also go for the Masked Vandal, depending. Okay. We might be playing into an Elves deck. Let's go ahead and play out Call of the Ring and attack in for that 1 damage. Nazgul is going to be very strong for us. Okay, so we're looking at a mono green deck here. I think the main plan is going to be to focus on emptying our hand before our opponent does too much. Now, deeply unfortunate for us that we're drawing 2 lands there. Let's go ahead and play out Nazgul. Keep this as the Ring Bearer. Let's go ahead and draw another card. And we'll draw and discard. Get rid of Llanowar Wastes here. Looking good. Now, upkeep will have the ring tempt us. We'll be able to play another Nazgul as well, so there's going to be lots of counters. Alright, Vivian.
From the smallest ant to the largest hydra, nature is beautiful.
Alright. Looks like there's just going to be the +1/+1 counters there. Yep.
This'll be fun to watch.
Untapped, sure. Okay. Ring Bear. Do I want to pay the life? I don't think so. Okay, let's go Pathway on black. Play out the Changeling Outcast. Go for another Nazgul. Now we have a whole bunch of Wraiths. Keeping that Changeling. I'm okay paying the life. Let's see some more cards now. Alright, now. This is going to deal some extra damage. Let's see if we can force the block. Collected Company, that's really great for us. Let's go ahead and get rid of one of our Orcish Medicines. Okay, extra 3 damage off the Outcast.
Time to disappear into the brush.
Now if our opponent can't clear our board here, we're actually gonna have lethal. Just off our 2 Changeling Outcasts. So they do have to find a way to deal with one of them.
I love to make a splash.
And there is a chance that they do. Let's see what they find here. Okay. Glucanos and Karn. Okay, let's see what artifact they have. Okay, yep, Ring tempts us. Sure. No need to pay any life. Let's go for the Collected Company, see if we can find more Nazgul. We just find Llanowar Elves. That's perfectly fine though. Move to combat, and we're gonna swing out. Draw and discard. Discard our swamp. And we've got it. Alright, opponent going first. I do kind of like this starting hand though. We're gonna go ahead and keep it. Alright, blue-green. Am curious. Yep. Our opponent may have access to counter magic. We're gonna go for the Golem. I would imagine that they're more likely to have a negate than a creature-specific counterspell in their hand. Okay, so our opponent's playing Merfolk. That's fine, that makes perfect sense. Let's go for the Nazgul here. Swing out. If they choose to block, they block. That's fine. Get our 3 damage. Now next turn, we can cast 2 Calls of the Ring. Opponent can attack with the Mistbinder, but they don't. Let's go Call of the Ring. They can counter it by sacking all of their merfolk. Let's go ahead and play out our other Call of the Ring, see if they'll choose to sacrifice one of their other merfolks. They do not either. Okay. No attacks. I'm actually okay with not attacking here. Okay, looks good. Okay, we block here. The ring will tempt us. I'm gonna draw that card. I like Collected Company. Okay. Looks good. Alright, well. I'm gonna move to attack. I think we'll discard one of our Masked Vandals. See if there are any blockers. Okay. Since there are no blockers, I'm going to go for Collected Company. This tells me they want to keep all of their merfolk alive and are less likely to sacrifice them. They'll have to sacrifice 2 to counter this. Yep. Okay, Nazgul and the Mystic. Nazgul enters the battlefield. We'll keep this as our ring bearer. Let's get some more cards. Another Collected Company. We can stop here. Looking good. Opponent down at 7. And I'll go ahead and end our turn here. We'll have another Collected Company for next turn. could prove very strong. Yep. Okay, opponent draws a card. Actually, not even gonna chump block here. We're just gonna take the 6. No blocks. Alright. Ring tempts us a whole bunch. I'm gonna draw 1 card. And then decline the rest. Yep. Let's keep this as our ring bearer, sure. Decline. Looking good. So now we know for a fact both of our Nazgul have to be blocked. Draw and discard. Okay, we're gonna cast our Collected Company here, just because this Nazgul is going to trigger off some of our other Nazgul that we have entering the battlefield this turn. Ring tempts us. Then that Nazgul is gonna get returned to our hand. We're gonna switch our Ring Bearer as well. Decline. Decline. Get a whole bunch of +1/+1 counters. Okay, Nazgul back in our hand. Draw a card. We can discard the Overgrown too. Blockers. They'll have to block with one of their creatures here. Sure. And then we'll tap the Elvish Mystic, play out another Nazgul. This time we'll go ahead and... let's make this one our Ring Bearer. Change it up just a little bit. No need to lose life and draw cards yet. Alright. Now, if our opponent can't deal with the Changeling Outcast, we have lethal there. They're also going to have to block our other Nazgul. Yep. Opponent's going to have a lot to not lose here. Now, let's make this Nazgul our Ring Bearer. Yep, no need to take any extra damage. Yep, keep it here. Looking good. Alright, let's move to combat. Well, we can swing with the Elvish Mystic as well. No reason not to. Sure. They can cast their own Collected Company. They still can't block the Changeling Outcast. Now they have no mana. I am curious as to what our opponent's going to try and do here. We draw a Collected Company of our own. Let's go ahead and cast it. See if our opponent's going to sacrifice any of their merfolk. I think they're going to have to let us have it. Sure. Pay 1. You can sacrifice another merfolk if you'd like. Sure. That's fine. And now we for sure have lethal. They still weren't able to deal with the Changeling Outcast, but now we're ending the game with a clear board. Good game. Alright everybody, I hope you enjoyed. As we saw, Nazgul can grow out of control very quickly. The power of Collected Company can also let us bring them out onto the battlefield either during combat or at the end of our opponent's turn, so we can have hasty blockers, or so we could get that last bit of pumped damage through after our opponent chooses not to block. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like, and if you have any ideas for another deck that you'd like to see me play, why don't you let me know in a comment down below. I'll see you all next time.